can't do that, you can send it to me through worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. That's our email address, and I get it directly. And David won't be with us tonight, and I just turned on a recorder because David said he won't be able to copy this medical thing. All right.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey.
Yes. Where do you get these reports that you're sending out? Who do you send them out to?
What, the newsletters?
Yes.
They're on our website and they're on our Facebook page.
All right. I wonder. I thought you was going to send them out to my email or something.
No, number one, we don't collect those email addresses.
Yeah. Okay.
And number two, when I did do that, I had to put them in a compressed file, and they didn't all travel. I'm a Macker, and sometimes what I put them in, you can't work with. And I'm seeing some great things on Facebook and YouTube lately I'd like to try, and they're DOS based and I'm Mac based, and it's just it's frustrating.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. A couple of weeks ago, I alluded to the fact that I wanted to put up a poll to see if we could do some, or if you wished to do some variants on when we meet and how long we meet and things like that. And I'm gonna have to work with Trey. I found out today that I can't put polls up as not being the host, but Trey can put them in and then we can work with them. But I have to get him to Trey to insert them. It's a political thing with
send it. I'll see if I can figure it out.
Yeah, and there's a place that you can just copy and paste them. I did that from one account to the other, and that's how I found out that I can do it. But I have to be in your computer to do that. But we'll work it out. We got over some hurdles before. And we're still looking for team members. If you wonder how this happens, raise your hand. I remember in the military, a guy said, all right, all you guys wearing green are volunteering for this and that. And we had people looking around, we all wear green. But we would like to have more folks on our co-host team. And all you have to do is get involved in the club. That's all it is. It doesn't pay. There are no requirements. All you have to do is get involved in the club. I mean, Dane handles bringing in our gallery each week. Tonight, Dane's doing our demo for us. So we're going to have to recruit one of our other co-hosts to do that once we say, hey, it's gallery time, once you pop in and throw something. And that's another member of the club that got involved. I mean, we got Dean Grimes involved, Kate Bolger, Martin from the UK, Matt Harbour, Paul Hannaby, Ronnie, Trey. There's a few more here. It's as people come in, my screen keeps flipping and I can't follow all the names. But if you'd like to get involved, just sign up, join in. And oh yeah, I'm still wondering where are the other team members, your team, your local team, the folks you turn wood with, that you visit with, that you lie to. Where are those guys? Did you invite them or gals? Because Brenda's in this tonight. You guys and gals are all welcome, just need to let them know. I spoke with the president of a wood turning club Monday because he was buying something from me. And I told him about this and he said, well, my board of directors is awarded this from competition with our meetings. Competition. It's really got me. We weren't formed for competition. We were formed to share information.
We're complimentary and helpful. That's all we are.
That's it. And no restrictions. We can't say if you use Kenny's tools and not Bobby's tools, you can't be a member. We don't charge dues. We do have this secret handshake, but don't show them. But we're looking to collect some more members that way. Why? we have 67 people online right now. I can get 67 opinions on something right now. 67 opinions. Ronnie and I talk about finishes. Ronnie just talked about a finish a minute ago. So I'm working on something for an article, and it starts out, if I get 100 wood turners in one room and ask about finishes, I will get 200 opinions. And they'll all be right. Just ask them. So if you like to get involved, let us know. We also have that wig stand challenge. Mr. John Brown's been turning, he found the new source, a new outlet with an oncology. John, was that an oncology group you're talking to? Mr. Brown? I know he's there. I don't think I am muted.
Are his eyes open?
Thank you, fellas.
Hey, John.
Did he nod off?
Yep, he nodded on.
All right.
Hey,
He's-
Andy,
Yes.
this, Gary, I got a SWAT question for you.
All right, Gary, what's up?
I was trying to look at signing up, and then my wife says, what am I supposed to do?
Oh, there's there's spouse programs.
That's
Not-
what I was wondering about, because it doesn't say anything about that. So
Ooh,
can you kind of help me talk her into coming with me?
Hey,
Yeah.
Gary,
Yeah,
have you ever been there before?
no.
Tell your wife, the people that come on Magnolia.
Oh, yeah, well, she's very familiar with all of that.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
that'll get her to come.
yeah, she was tickled with that. Problem is, the vehicle we'll be driving is a 2500 Chevy pickup with a 8-foot bed, and that is a hard thing to navigate. So
well, it's almost just walking distance to the, what do they call it, silos?
to
Yeah,
the silos, and then there's Magnolia Cafe or something like that.
Yeah, it's right next door.
The girls making that trip.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
the Magnolia Cafe and the Silos is all one complex.
Okay, yeah, well, she can't walk too much, but that's what we're looking for is things for her to do. You know, where I
Oh.
sign her up as the pair, but she needs something to be able to do for the other hours. She says, you know, I can't sit there. It's all Greek to me.
Yeah.
In the past, they have had a very active women's program. My wife has actually taught some classes and all that kind of stuff with it. I'm not going this year, but if they probably still have that. I can't guarantee they have it this year just because, you know, because of COVID. But
Yeah.
without the COVID, they've had the women fully engaged for the full duration.
Hey, Gary, can you remind us in about an hour of this situation? Because we'll probably have one of the board members from SWAT online at that time.
Okay, about 7:30 or in between a demo or something like that.
Yeah, just say, hey, I got this little question about SWAT. And because those guys are with us all the time. And remember, this is a club built and managed organization. And they do what they need to make things work. They really, really do. And the year my wife went with me, she's been there 2 or 3 times. But one year she went into a quilting. She's a queen of quilters. She went to a quilting thing in one of the meeting rooms downstairs and came back with a ton of ideas to see what other people were doing. We took our manufacturing team up there a couple of years ago, and that wife went into something where they were doing pottery, and they had a lot of fun. And that's a 4-member team, husband, wife, and 2 teenage kids. And this was 3 years ago. They all turned ink pens that day. And they probably hadn't seen a lathe before that. And they created ink pens. Boy, it worked up. It was cool. And I can't remember the turner we were talking to. And one of the boys came up and said, I turned a pen. And he looked over and said, "Where is it?" And he said, "Oh, it's up in a room." He said, "Go get that pen and carry it with you everywhere you go and tell people you made this." And that teenager ran off to the hotel room. They don't normally listen at that age, but he was moving on.
Well, the last one I went to, my wife, she taught some classes, but she also got down there on one of the lathes and started turning a bowl, and then agreed to take a bowl turning class with Stuart Batty in Vegas, which we
Wow.
did about a year and a half ago. So
That's a trip. Now, getting down there to turn a bowl, folks don't understand this. You can walk up to almost any demonstrator with the machine and turn something. The miniature turner, Tim Yoder, and I tease about Tim, but he's a good friend. Tim's got his lathe set up, and he's showing you some things he does. If you want to actually try what he's doing, step up. Same thing with Lau Jameson. Used to be JT Tools. I'm having a hard time remembering some of the other groups, but all these folks want you to try their tools, and it's hands-on. Try it. Get up and give this a try. And if you got a problem, that's where you take your problem.
well, they also had a bunch of lathes set up downstairs that was for that they were showing that were for people to actually put hands on.
Yeah.
That she got down there, the downstairs, away from the demonstrators. These are just club members that brought lathes, and they had about 4 lathes, big lathes down there, and some small ones, and for people hands on that sit there and teach you how to do it.
Yeah, and the thing, if you go up on the main floor, then normally there's a group, and it's a club, that'll give you the parts and pieces you need to put a pen together. You can go downstairs, turn a pen, they'll help you assemble it, and you're holding what you did right in your hands. Beautiful idea. It's a way to share, it really is.
Caddy,
Hey, who's that?
Brenda volunteered to do the gallery tonight. I don't know if you saw it in the chat or not.
No, I can't look at the chat all at one time. There's just too many screens. Brenda, you with us? You got to talk.
I know
Yeah.
that Paul had said he was gonna do the gallery tonight on the email chain, but I guess that might have
Yeah,
changed.
Paul said he would take care of gallery while I'm turning.
Which
Yeah, I can do
Paul?
that, that's no problem.
Paul
Paul
Hannity.
Hannity.
Okay. All right. Well, we can get
Me and Paul worked it out.
we can get we can get Brenda to back him up if we need to.
Hey, Eddie,
Hey,
those headphones you got on, did you borrow those from Doug Rowe?
no, the thing was Doug's had wig streams sticking out of it, and I really didn't want to look.
They look pink from here.
It's the color on monitor. That's all right.
I thought
Just-
it was Doug Rose. That was Doug Rose headphones, being that they were pink.
Yeah, well, I actually looked around for a wig this week. The nieces and nephews, I contacted them and said, anybody got anything like a wig? And I got no response. I guess they thinking I'm getting like Ronnie. I'm off on a deep end, you know. You put a finish, I know better than talk about finishes right now.
John's back now.
Oh, hey, John.
Yeah,
Hey, we're talking about you or to you a few minutes ago.
yeah, I heard you talk. I heard you talking that I might have been dozing off, and you're probably right.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the rumors were you were nodding. You found the new outlet for your wig stands this week, didn't you?
Yes, I found an outlet for them. At the Butler Hospital, Butler, Pennsylvania. It's north of Pittsburgh, about 25 miles. But some of the staff here has a lot of friends at the hospital. Some of their children work there, and they got in contact with the cancer department at the hospital, and a lady came here and was thrilled to death to see how they were made. She had no idea what I was talking about when I first talked to her. So, and I gave her 3. I'm in the process of making another bunch.
Good, good. And that's the way to find an outlet, is to find a local oncology group.
Yeah.
Every hospital's got one. The hospital I go to, we just saw where they have a brand new one.
Yeah.
They opened another branch. They own half the highway I live on now. But every couple of days we see them breaking ground for another project. And we cut through it today looking for a farmer's market that used to be there. And it's now in a for kidney treatment. Can't think of the name.
Dialysis?
Yeah, dialysis center. And it's beautiful operation. It's right next to where they built the new rehab center, and right across from where they're getting ready to break more ground for an emergency care center. So it's nice to see a big organization like that backed up. We've asked there about the Wig Stands, and we think, my wife and I, we have an outlet, we have an inlet there.
I hadn't mentioned it too. I forgot about it when I was talking to Trey in the beginning, but they had an article about it in the local county paper here. So I don't know what this is going to turn into, you know, in the next few weeks. So we'll just
You don't get any bad news off this stuff. I mean, you really don't.
No, you don't.
People want to get involved.
Yeah. I'll have to talk to the other couple of clubs that I belong to, see if anyone in that is interested.
Okay.
I'll talk to them. I've been trying to get some of them to come on here on Wednesday night, but doesn't look like I have been successful, but I tell them all about it. The one lady that's really involved in it, she's a traveling nurse, and lots of times she isn't available in the middle of the week. She might be off someplace at a hospital working a lot of hours.
They do that. Bob out of Mansfield, Texas. Bob, are you on the board with SWAT?
No, I'm not on the board.
Okay, I just saw the town you in pop up and thought, we have a couple of folks from there on the board, and from the board on our program, and we have a question about the spouse activities. So we don't want to spotlight or put the post on anybody. We just want to get some information. See, Johnny Hughes in the shop out there tonight, so Johnny be with us. Joshua Smith is kicked back. Mark Soleil's online with us tonight. Bob Moffett, Donald from.
Yeah, how you doing?
All right, hey Bob.
Hey, Eddie, can you hook me up for co-host?
I'm trying to find you. I thought I did already. Now I got you. You're in there, Dane.
Yeehaw. What time we want to start? 5 o'clock or?
Well, yeah, at the
6
o'clock, top of the hour.
Top of the hour.
Because Doug Rumble on, we can't use the numbers. Just say top of the hour.
Hey, Eddie, it's Doug Miller. You want to make me co-host and I'll admit people?
I got muted out. All right.
Uh-oh.
Say it again, Doug.
Oh, I was just saying, if you would co-host me, I'll admit people for you.
All right, we got a couple of folks helping tonight. Brenda's helping, Paul Hannaby's helping. Now we have Doug Miller. All you people want to get involved in this club, isn't it? Oh, I tell you what, you have no idea how good it feels. No idea. Packing them in. I'll tell you what, we got a few minutes before we get started, rather than ramble on. We've seen a couple of pieces so far tonight. What do you got? You can put it in chat right now. I have a piece to show. We have 3 co-hosts watching the chat, and they'll introduce you. Here's the deal. If you ask and we introduce you, have your piece and be unmuted and talk to us. Because if we wake you up, I mean, I feel bad about waking up Mr. Brown, If we wake you up, it might be a little bit of a gap. So, all
I don't
right.
need to feel bad about that. I get awake pretty easy. It's been a long day. You see, I get up about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. I do too, but I go to the bathroom, come back and go to bed.
Oh, no, I don't do that. I get right up and have coffee and
I go back to work. I'm getting up at 3.
Hey, Eddie, let's go to Johnny and see what he's got here.
Johnny Hughes. Hey, Johnny.
Oh, there. I've just got a few wig stands we've been working on. Let's see if I can turn this thing around.
You got a
These,
mouse in your pocket?
look at that.
Hey,
yeah,
Johnny.
well, no, Trace, some of these are done by Trace. In fact, I'm
okay.
I'm doing the laser on them now. And there's 8 of them there that's finished. But we're putting our local club's logo on the bottom of them. I don't know if you can see that.
Hey, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We've been
And that's
doing
something
that.
Nice little production run there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming along there. Still got a few
Well,
more to do.
there must be some old construction lumber because that'd be expensive to be buying now.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah.
there.
He's
I
well
had
off.
some that I picked up, and Trace picked up a truckload of it, so we had quite a bit of it. But that's what I've been working on here, and now I'm just trying to finish lasering them up before we put a finish on them.
Nice.
Nice.
That's using that NEJE engraver.
Yes, in fact, it just finished one. I was getting ready to put another one in it, so it does pretty good at that. So
Now I'm going to add, I see something on that table straight in front of me, center mass. It looks like rollers. What is that?
that is the roller for the laser. That is it plugs into the laser, and that allows me to do things on the round pieces, like so.
So Jake gets one, but Ronnie doesn't. Okay, now
I got one of those and I have yet to try it. I got to get on
Okay.
that.
Here at Jake, you know. So, but it
What
works
kind of
pretty
laser
good.
do you have? Johnny,
What's that?
what was that kind of laser? What type of laser do you have?
That's a Neje, Neje. See, there's I was practicing up for pepper mills on that one, but it's done in that same roller.
that's a nifty attachment. I'm going to be crude. How much is it worth?
You know, I'm trying to remember that. I really am.
Your wife
where-
isn't watching. Your wife's
where do-
not watching. You can give us the honest price.
Yeah, where do you get it at?
Oh, I ordered it off of the internet there. Now it's made by Ortor, I guess is the name of it. Yeah, Ortor. But it plugs right into the Neje.
$140 at Amazon.
There you go. And it's worth every penny. Because it plugs right in and it'll turn and rotate whatever you're burning it into, and it'll go in either direction, whatever you want to do. It works pretty good. It's well worth it.
Will it go down small enough to do a pen?
Yeah, you can, rollers are adjustable. You can move them in or out. Do
Okay.
that by moving these screws here. So, but it'll do, I can still move them in close enough to do a pen. Although they,
laser engraver did you get?
which laser engraver?
Uh-huh.
It's the Neje Master 2, and I got the 20 watt, but that's way too much. The 3500 is the best for engraving and doing that kind of thing. The 3.5 watt, it does perfect on that. In fact, these bottoms that I'm doing now, I'm only running that at 18% power. So, and they do that at 18% power.
How long does it take to do one?
You know, I haven't timed it, but I'm thinking it's probably around 4 minutes just to do one in there. And it goes pretty quick. And you can also use different programs. Some of the programs move faster. I understand the light scribe and that moves faster than what I'm doing, which is a vector program that come with it. And that I bought it because it's such an easy one to use. Like for my signature on my bowls, all I did was take a picture of the bowl. Take a picture of my signature. And I fed my signature into the computer by using a picture. And that's what I do for my bowls. I just burn my name in there by using that picture that I took of my signature. And then I put whatever wood in the year it is.
Oh, Johnny, I'm getting a reprieve because I have a very new DOS-based laptop. I've been having to do the Mac, and I have to create the art, put it in PowerPoint, and bring it over, and it's not as clear. I remember you telling me you went to the DOS-based or Windows-based unit to get to use the software.
Hey,
Yeah, and that's
Eddie, you think Eddie, you think you can get him to do a demo for us on that?
Oh, there's no thinking about it. I'm about to commit it to it right now.
Yeah, it's won't be a problem there. It's I had a little problem signing on. I think it was a problem with my internet here today, but yeah, it's very easy to use. You know, several things I've just taken a picture of, loaded it, sent it to email to my laptop, and I printed them out on there. And you can also type in whatever you want, use different fonts. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a couple of different fonts there on that.
Oh, yeah.
Got one like that. It's got my name on it. Just like,
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, sure is.
So just
one of the things you can do is you can use the laser engraver to create designs that you can then fill with like brass or aluminum powder, and then use thin super glue and sand them flat. And get brass or aluminum inlay.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with it. It just you're really only limited by your imagination. And it's a small unit. I don't know if you saw it over there when it was working, but that's it right there, hooked up to my laptop. And
very
all
cool.
I do basically is put one of these bottoms in there, like so, and just click on the picture and it'll shoot it right in there once I center it up. It's pretty basic, easy to use.
he's not getting out of the demo with this, okay? He's still in it, but we taped this. He did make a confirmation. Johnny, somebody has already on the chat put up the details. It was Matt put the details up on the chat of what he's talking about. And we've had a couple others on there. Some folks need help setting up. So this might be one we cover whenever Johnny gets it worked out. We get it covered. No pressure here, because we don't want to pressure people to doing a little more than they would like to do or committing into something they don't want to do. But Johnny's one of our original founding members. First time I met Johnny, he came to our open meeting, the first open meeting we had. So
hey, Eddie.
Hey,
I just wanted to add something in here. The tour turning the Z-axis, I guess is what they call it. That kind of works good for a lot of, bigger items. But when you do get down into those pens, I've been doing a lot of research on it. And like a slimline pen or something trying to engrave on it, we'll kind of get a little picky. But there's another company, I can't remember right off the top of my head the name of it, but there's a company out of the UK that actually makes a attachment that goes directly onto either the Ortor laser or the Niji. And what it does is when it rolls right along with the head unit of the laser, so it actually turns the pen blank over as it goes. I'll try to find the information on that. That's another thing for doing pens and stuff that I was looking at. And as far as the powers on the lasers, I've been getting into doing a lot of laser stuff myself. Lower power lasers great for engraving. If you're wanting to do any type of cutting, a higher output lasers is better. But at the same time, if you decide to get a higher output laser, you can go straight to you can bring the power so much on it that it'll work just as well for the engraving as well. Because I mean, like on the Nijis, which I have a Niji myself, I've got a 30-watt laser, and I did the little coin for for the organization on mine, and you just turn the power down and you turn the speed up, and it'll go either way. But they do have a couple of different kits too as well, like I said, to do that kind of stuff.
They make one for pins. It's actually a pin mandrel type of turn.
Correct.
You put slim line on there on the mandrel and it turns it. And I believe, well, I won't mention Nancy McIntyre's name, but she's got some of those.
Yeah, don't talk about Nancy.
Yeah. But,
well, and if you get, there's a Neje engraver that's like a desktop. It's about this big.
Hold on. I gotta get you back. I gotta get you up there.
You know what? I actually have it here. Hang on, let me find it. But
boy, what you get here, huh?
I got him.
You got him? All right.
There it is there.
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, it only does something in this on this little table here. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's as big, and you can see I've used it. But I mean, it'll do, something that's 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. And this is like, I don't know, I think this is a 1.5 watt or whatever. It's great for engraving little small things like name tags and little, little medallions or whatever. So, and this was like $80, okay? And you can run the same software and go through all of that learning curve by doing this one. And the other one I have, which is downstairs, is an Alex Maker A3, which was much assembly required and minimal instructions, and that thing's like this big. So, and it's a bar one like yours.
It's amazing where that industry has gone.
Yep.
A couple of years ago, we couldn't talk about this because it was way out of bounds.
Yeah, thousands, right?
Yeah. Okay. I see a couple of folks popped up, so I got something to show.
Yeah, we got several. Let's go to Bob Moffett, North Carolina.
Oh,
What's
hey,
happening in North Carolina?
How's everybody doing?
We're doing
Doing
good.
good, Bob. How's yourself?
Bob?
This is a little holoform I did. It's just a little chunk of wood, piece of sweet gum that a guy gave me and said, well, if you can do something with it, give it a try. So turned a little round holoform with it.
Always like the grain and sweet gum. Beautiful grain.
Yeah, it is pretty great. And this is why I've been practicing. The lady's got me to do an urn for her husband that passed away. And this was one of my practice pieces. It's a piece of ash, and turned it to 3/16. It hadn't completely dried yet. And this is the one that I'm turning for her, but I hadn't made the top on it yet. And it's cherry. And it's about 1/4 inch. And I was a little more conservative with it because with this one, if I blew it up, it didn't matter. This one, it did. Didn't have any more wood. But so that's
Those
what
are
I've
beautiful.
done this week.
They're very
Wow,
nice.
very nice. What's the size, diameter, and height?
It's about 9 3/4 inches tall and 5.5 inches at the widest point. And the base is 3 inches.
Okay, very nice.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. All right, who else we got up, Dane?
Let's see. Let's see what's happening. Billy Bird here. Billy, go ahead and start talking, and I'll pull you up. There we are. Can't hear you, Billy.
Hold on. All right. How's that? Is that better? Can you see
Better.
me? Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Billy,
This
somebody told me you dropped the branding iron.
I did. This afternoon, I dropped my big electric branding iron. It's about, 1.5 inches in diameter, and reflexes kicked in, and I got stupid and caught it. So I've got 2nd-degree burns along this finger and this part of my thumb. So I'm going to be out of commission in the shop for a few days.
Get that man a Band-Aid.
Get him a Band-Aid.
Stupid. And it hurts. I mean, it's really hurting.
Put him in the Band-Aid club.
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
looking to
that
see
is a
now.
natural reflex just to grab it.
Yeah,
You don't think about the heat.
no, I didn't think about anything until I grabbed it, had it in my hand, and then it was like, oh, you dummy.
Yeah,
But,
and it's an automatic thing. That's like putting your foot out to catch a chisel falling off the bench.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Dane, I think he made the club, Dane.
What club's
Yeah,
that?
I'm sure he did.
What, the idiot club?
No, we're not.
I don't know. Let's
Band-Aid
look.
Brigade.
Oh, Brenda's Band-Aid Brigade.
Brenda's
Cool.
exclusive Band-Aid Brigade.
Well, you know, on that notion there, later on, later in the meeting, I will tell my experience of the natural reflexes and how bad it could have been for me.
All right. Well, let's go back to Billy. He's got a gallery at him
Definitely.
besides giving him a hard time.
Yeah, Billy likes it though.
It's
All right,
all
Billy.
good. It's all good. This is a little piece of hackberry. It's about 5.5 inches wide, and it's not very spalted. Hackberry has a tendency to spalt quickly. This one did not, because it was in my shop more than it was on the ground.
Now hold that still. All right. For all you folks that look at the grain, do you see the nose, the mouth, and the
And the
rings that could
eyes?
be the ear? Yeah.
Yes.
You see it? You see it?
And a little hair on the top.
Yeah. How about?
That thing's got
All
more
right.
hair than I do.
All right.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
Are you going to
I
hold
can
up
agree
the
with that.
project?
So do what? So that's
Are you going to hold up the project or what? All I see is your face.
Oh, funny. So that's the inside. The outside is I used Arteza iridescent paints. What I did was I put them on I put daubs of paint on a, for all intents and purposes, on a pallet. And then I took a plastic grocery bag and some stuff inside it, and I wrapped the grocery bag around it like a balloon, and I dipped it in the paint, and then I would just daub it randomly around the bowl after I got it turned. And I used, I think, 5 different colors and coated it with oil. I'm trying to get so the light can hit it so you can see all the colors.
Oh, it's
I like your video on it, Billy.
That's
But
cool.
thank you. But I used antique oil for the finish inside and out. And on top of the antique oil, after I let it dry for 24 hours, the final coat, I buffed it with abrasive paste and then a polishing compound, or a polishing paste, and Axe, abrasive paste and polishing. But it's not as shiny as I thought it was going to be. But that's okay. I don't really mind that satin look at all. It's got just enough sheen. But it's
like
just something. Most people think hackberry is or talk about hackberry as a trash wood, but I really like the way it turns. I don't like it as much as I like Bradford pear, but I do like the way it turns. It turns nicely.
Good. And remember, in this club, there's no such term as trash wood. It's not permitted.
Well,
Thank you, Billy. Appreciate it. And thanks for taking the ribbing we give you. But that's that is a teaching project right there. You know.
Yeah, for real. Oh, and I'm registered for SWAT. We're good to go.
Good.
Got
All right.
Hotel room reserved. We're in good shape.
Good. Good. All right. We're going to talk to a board member from SWAT sometime this evening about questions that came in. But right now, let's go to Kentucky and talk to Doug Miller.
Hey guys, it's good to see everybody tonight. It seems like it's been a long week. A few years ago, guy got hold of me on Facebook and he says, "I've got some wood here if you'd like some of it." I said, "What is it?" And he said, "It's carob wood." I thought, what in the world is carob wood? Never heard of it. I mean, I know what carob is. It's that chocolate substitute stuff. But anyway, he sent me the wood and it was wet and it was messy. But I made a bit of a bowl There we go.
Whoa.
Lots of color, but you can see it's got a few voids, including, there's a pretty good void right there. Had this in a shop.
It ain't gonna hold soup, but it's really pretty, Doug.
There you go. Turner came by and looked at this when it was in a shop, and he said, "How in the world did you turn it with that big gap in there?" I said, "It wasn't too bad." I said that was my first response, but then I told him that after I did the basic shape on the outside, I wrapped it with about a half a roll of duct tape, and it held together and did really well. The bottom of it is just a tad thicker than what I would like it to be, but at that point in my turning career, I was a little afraid to go any thinner, and even today, I'm not sure I'd go any thinner than what it is. But it came out okay.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
nice
love
piece.
It's gorgeous.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
carabin's very chippy too.
Beautiful
That's
piece, Doug.
Thanks. That's another case of a simple oil finish that was hand rubbed into the wood just time and time again, and let it dry between coats, and it's held up. That's 11 years old. How old is
Wow.
that?
Yarn bowl on steroids.
Very nice.
That looks like that'd be a good M&M's bowl.
Looks like a smile.
It won't hold many M&Ms.
That's the idea. You eat them all.
Yeah.
You guys
They'll
would like
fall
to
right
see
in your
it pop.
hand, though.
Right. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Joe
Doug.
Klein.
Hey, Joe. Joe, you're on, sir.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute myself. I made a bowl, 18 segments per row, per layer. It's 10 inches across. It's about 5.5 inches tall. I don't get the center to match up, so I ended up turning a plug to put through it, and I didn't do an end grain plug. I did a side grain, so it's all side grain. I don't have a finish on it. It's maple and walnut. It was sitting on my dining room table. My brother-in-law saw it, and he said, "Can you make one bigger?" So I made a bigger one. This one is 14 inches in diameter. Again, 18 segments per layer. This one's 14 by 7. And I also don't have a finish on it. Again, it's maple and walnut.
Very
Those
nice.
are
Really pretty.
Wow.
Very
Wow.
nice.
Nice.
Great
Beautiful
work,
work.
Jim. They really
Wow.
look nice.
Nice work, Doug. And Joe's from right here in Metairie. Or I'm not Metairie, Ronnie is.
Yeah,
But-
Eddie, and we're going to get rain at 3:30 in the morning again. Remember that.
Oh yeah, I got my boat out. It'll be okay.
Right,
My
thank you.
P-Rose on the back of the truck too.
All right. So I think this is a first timer here with Marlene Griffin. How are you?
Hello, Marlene.
Hi.
You're on, sir. Unmute and we can go.
Unmute yourself.
Marlene
Lower left
Griffith.
corner. There's a mute button you have to hit,
Press your space bar on your computer.
or press the space bar.
Say something, Mr. Griffin. We don't know if it's working.
There we go. Now
not be
you're
Marlene.
unmuted. So now you can talk.
Talk, sir.
You got my picture up, but that's not my name.
Oh, Marlene Griffith is coming up as a name.
Yeah, the name's Marlene Griffith.
My name's Jack Cap. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Well, welcome,
Oh,
Jack.
another one. Hi, neighbor.
That's odd.
My son and I turned
So you have to go in and change your name profile there.
Not right now.
Look nice.
It's a nice wig stand.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
my son made a better wig stand than what I did. Mine's finished with lacquer.
No,
And his
very
is
nice.
finished with Carfax and buff with Bayonex.
That's pretty.
That's very nice stuff here.
Pull it
Very
back towards your face, Jack. There you
Beautiful
go.
shape.
Very nice. Looks good.
Nice.
Good
Nice.
job, Jack.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Sir.
We're about
So
to pay
click
you.
on your name, Jack, and change it.
Somebody
We're
already
about to
put
pay
Jack's
you
name up now.
Yeah, it's up.
I took care of that, y'all. I fixed that, y'all.
Oh, okay, good deal. He got it.
Where are you from in PA?
All
Where are you
right.
from in PA?
Thank you. So let's go see Brenda.
Guys,
We want to see the fingers, Brenda. Any Band-Aids?
no Band-Aids.
All right.
Hey, last week I had some issues with my new lathe and sharpening my tools, and Dane spent some time with me and helped me through that. And the piece I was working on at the time, it's an ice cream paddle. I did finish it. Very nice finish.
Yay.
Yay. So thanks, Dane.
You're welcome.
And
Looky
All
there.
right. And-
Look out.
Very
nice. Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the club.
yeah,
Now, have you sent the
Nice.
photograph? Have you sent a photograph that to
I
us?
didn't.
Yeah. All right, come on, get a photograph in there, Brenda.
it's not real well, it's not real good, but it'll work.
Oh, no, it's really good, and it will
Oh,
work.
that's great.
It was made out of some scrap wood, extra pieces from my brother's deck that he was redoing. So, two before.
All right.
That'll work.
Interesting though was the top piece had a knot in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see, probably not, but you can almost see through this knot right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably more turpentine than anything.
Yeah.
Solidified.
Yeah, that piece, oh, it was beautiful. It's got a lot of green in it.
It's very
Thank
nice,
you.
Brenda. Nice finish.
Mhm.
Brenda,
Yeah,
Brenda,
I used
you
the
don't mean,
Parfex. Oh, I didn't finish the bottom.
Brenda, you don't mean scrap wood, you mean small pieces of wood that have not reached their artistic potential yet.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
I have to try to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody write that down.
Right? Yeah, Eddie needs to put that in the newsletter.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
got
the quote we should have on her hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Thank
But
you.
she made the club.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm on
great.
all of them now.
Look at there.
Very nice.
All right.
Great
Doing what we
Right.
should do for our friends and neighbors. All
I
right.
just don't
All right,
know who to give it
Jason.
to yet.
Jason, you're up next.
Somebody wake up Jason.
Jason. Jason. There he is. Oh,
You're
no.
muted.
You're having problems with your mic again. Your mic.
You're not muted, but we're not hearing you.
Plug it in. Yeah, hell, we got you.
Plan B time.
We'll have to come back to you, Jason.
All right.
That's all right, because we got Matt in standby.
All right. Before we go to Matt, Dane, we're going to put you on deck. When you're ready, we'll put you on deck. Okay. On deck. Okay.
Okay, so let's do Matt, and then while Matt's doing his stuff, I'm gonna move my tripod around and get set up.
That works. Okay, Matt,
Okay.
what you have, sir?
This is
So
also
real quick, so Paul, if you can take over capturing the names after Mike Neball, please.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
This is hackberry also. This is a hackberry branch. Pith in case y'all are wondering. And this is the cherry goblet I turned like a couple weeks ago where I did the spirals. I've managed to get finish on it.
Wow, that's nice.
Very nice.
Y'all can see that, but yep.
Can you send us another photograph of that? I'd like to. Boy, that's a piece I really want to feature.
I'll take a good picture of it and send it to you, Eddie.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
What finish you put on it?
That is poly. Minwax wipe on poly. About 8-10 coats.
Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's delighted. I'm delighted with how it turned out, and you gotta like it for a demo piece. It turned out really good.
Thank you. Paul, I see where Mike Keybaugh says he's not ready. He's going to reboot.
Hey,
So-
Eddie, is my
Got
mic
you when you come
working
back.
now?
Yes, yes, your mic is working, Jason.
Okay, I don't know why it cut out.
All right.
Do we shift to Dane or what do we do?
No, what we
Jason,
should be
okay.
on Jason.
There you go.
Jason, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, let's go.
There you go.
So I don't know if you can see this real good. Let's see.
Put it back to you.
Closer to you.
Closer
So
to you.
that's
Sir.
one-
There
There you
you
go.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's one
pretty
pin that
good.
I made. It's kind of really shiny if you turn it a certain way in the light. So, and then I don't know if you call this wood turning, but that's the other pin.
It's wood turning.
Well, I did put it on the lathe.
You see?
So,
Yeah.
but that's a 30-06 shell and a 308 shell with a slimline pin kit.
That's a nice combination.
That's that exotic brass wood.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Awesome.
I get those vines
So-
around the shop. I don't get the real wood.
Very
But
hard.
that's all I got tonight.
All right. Thank you,
Nice.
Jason. All righty. And with that, Dane, are you up?
Testing my microphone?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my camera turned around.
All right.
Looks like I got my audio issues fixed.
Okay, Mike.
This is Mike Keybaugh.
While Jason
Can hear
flip, let's get Mike in while Jason's getting his rig turned around.
Oh,
While
okay.
Dane's getting his rig turned around. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, hey, thanks. I just had a couple pins that I turned.
Pull it back to you, sir.
I'm trying to.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like my lighting's bad. I put some copper wire in there and some, oh, there it is. That's a little bit better.
That's
And
nice.
And some brass strips. It was a little bit dangerous, some sharp stuff coming off of it, but it was an experiment. It went well.
But you were
But-
wearing your face mask, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That was that was why I wanted to share that one, is that epoxy come flying off and hit me right where the eye should have been. So that was good. This one I was really particularly proud of.
It's really pretty.
This was an experiment that went well.
I
And
like it when that happens.
yeah, no kidding.
Right?
A friend of mine is into Nordic runes, and he sent me this, and I said, you know, I'd really like to try something. So it's made out of ebony. And then I was trying to figure out how to get it to not distort, you know, by prepping the squares. So I actually turned this and carved this in round. And instead of using a Dremel, because because of the spinning action zips off all the time, I actually broke out a set of hand carving tools and a mallet. And I just kind of chiseled it down to about 1/8 of an inch and poured some red epoxy in there and then just returned it after it cured. So that's what I got.
It came out nice. Great experiment.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks cool.
So I've
That's
been
real
wanting
nice.
to get those tools out, and I thought, you know what, this is a perfect opportunity. Now I just have to figure out how to sharpen them. So
Cool. Well done.
Talk to Dane.
Yeah, talk to
no
Dane.
kidding.
We can talk later about it, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
In fact, speaking of talking to Dane, Dane is our demonstrator this evening. If you have questions, whatever, you can ask them of Dane. It's normally good if we let the turner rock and roll and then we do some questions. Dane, what you got? What are we doing?
All right. Well, can you all hear me very good?
Yes.
Awesome. So hopefully audio stays up like that. So what we're going to attempt to make tonight is the first half of what I call a jewelry caddy. These are quite handy to have laying around on your countertop, especially for the women in your life or the men that are always cooking and cleaning. It's a nice little catch-all to toss your rings in or to toss them inside the little vessel inside. I figured for a second part of the video, we'll do the top either next week or the following week or whenever's convenient. But the intent is to turn one of these tonight. It should take about 30 or 45 minutes depending, and yeah, we'll go from there.
As they say, let's rock and roll.
So I'm working with a piece of cherry. So it's 4 inch by 4 inch by 2 inches. Find my centers. I'll find my centers on both sides. You can find your center and then take a Forstner bit and drill Forstner, hole in there 1 inch, 1 1/8 inch, and mount in a chuck if you so choose. But I prefer doing everything between centers and setting my recesses and or tenons with a small skew. And so with that, I'm going to be mounting it between centers. Got a step center locked into the chuck. And so from there, we'll go from there. If you have flaws on the corners of your wood, it's best to have those as the front, the face of the turning, because those will get turned away because they're sitting up here on top. So I've got some chips and whatnot on this side, so I'm going to mount that towards the headstock. Headstock side is going to be the top of the little turning. So we'll crank that down, lock everything in place, make everything's right and tight. Give myself some room for my yoke. Put the safety device on. And then we'll spin her up. Can you all hear me fine?
Gotcha, bud. Go ahead.
All right, sounds good. When turning, always turn at the speed that you're comfortable with. I turn fast. I'm comfortable with it. Cherry reacts really well with high-speed steel, so first thing we're going to do is basically knock the corners off. We're going to work our curve back. Sometimes you have to retighten. Last week we were talking about ways to mark your tenon. You can have little guides that you make and have readily available at your discretion when you're cutting one, but if you just take a pencil and lay it on top of your live center, now you've got automatic mark for your 2-inch cuts. All right, so I got my tenon cut. I'm going to take a negative rake and clean off the bottom here, and we're basically done with the bottom profile.
That's a clean cut.
Yeah, not bad, aside from the little chip here, but that's okay. All right, from here, we'll turn it around. Slap it in the chuck. And so my tenon that I have cut here is probably 3/16 of an inch. 3/16 of an inch. You don't need a big monster tenon hanging out to be able to lock it into your chuck. The primary portion that is where you're getting your holding power, the torque resistance is from having a nice flat concentric wall that's going to sit flush against your chuck jaws. That's where your holding force is coming from, not necessarily from the tenon. Again, you don't have to torque down on it. The more you torque down on it, the more you're going to crush those wood fibers and you're going to cause that tenon to crack. And just to even up the top pair, we use live center support, not a whole lot, just enough there to keep it from ricocheting off should it want to pop off.
Dane, for those that didn't notice it right now, look at the top of the chuck. You see the gap in the jaws, which means he's getting almost a concentric grab with those jaws on that tenon. That's why the size of the tenon is so critical.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, that gap is just a little bit smaller than the tenon depth was. So I said 3/16 of an inch. That gap is probably about an 1/8. So it's making as much contact as almost possible on those round jaws. So what I did there is I set the top vessel size with that cut there. Now from there, I'm going to come in from the sides, going in, working in this way, and then working out this way, all at the same time going down to reduce this thickness. And so I'm starting with my tool handle down as I'm entering the cut and then raising it. That's the cutting motion. I'm going to switch to a smaller gouge. Let me squeeze in there. And that chippiness you was hearing earlier, there's a knot in there. And of course, it's got a void in it on the other side.
Called character. Called character. We can work with it.
And so one other thing I will do when I'm turning square pieces like that is I take a piece of chalk and I was cleaning, blew my piece away, but I'll mark where those wings are coming by so I know where to keep my hands away from, even though they are on this side of the tool rest.
Yeah, you only have to learn how to take that seriously once.
Do what?
You only have to learn how to take those edges seriously once.
Right?
But we can make them a member of Brenda's group, you know.
And so as I'm approaching the cut right about here, my flutes are facing probably about 11 o'clock and I'm rotating with my body. The handle is, I've got it pinned to the side of my chest here. And as I'm rotating around, while I'm rotating around, I'm spinning that and I'm closing it by the time I get to the bottom of that cut. When you do that, that prevents you from having little jagged ends or jagged cut marks left that you have to take out later. And it's providing the automatic transition from the cylinder into the disc wall. Yeah, that void is catching. Take a lighter cut. Now we'll excavate the inside out and then we'll almost be done. Any questions thus far?
Speak now, hold your peace.
No questions? All right. I'm going to cut my rim for my lid that will fit in. Now it's just like cutting a bowl. Yes, that void runs all the way through. Inside is shaped. Now I'm going to fine tune the outside. here we are. Aside from a little bit of sanding, some finishing, put a lid on it, take the bottom off. We're
I'll
there.
put you on the spot. How about next week for the lid?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Great. I think the project's really nice.
Looks pretty nice. Got it done in a good time.
And you call
Yeah.
that a jewelry caddy, is that right?
Do what?
You call that a jewelry caddy, is that right?
Yeah, a jewelry caddy. That's what it got coined by some purchasers years ago.
How would you go about taking the bottom off of it?
Do what?
How would you go about taking the bottom off?
I would just slam that onto a chuck, jam chuck. First, you got to line it up with, so with all my jam chucks, you know how when you turn something, you take it back off, you put it back on. If you don't have your marking to tell you which orientation it was turned at, you'll have that little bit of wobble and you have to return it to make it true. So if you always mark the jaw number one, or, you know, one particular jaw number, and then line it up with that jaw, you'll always have a true running jam chuck. Every time you take it on, take it off. There it goes, perfect. So all I would do is put that on here, and you'll notice got the little recess there. It's set up for that. And then I'd bring my live center up.
You can also bolt a waist block to one of your face plates and use that as a jam chuck, and it's always round.
Sure, sure. And then, so from there, you know, you get in there with your gouge or your spindle gouge and finish up the bottom, do any additional detailing that you want to do to it. But that's how I take the bottoms off on everything. I've got a 20-inch disc, got various smaller ones, but that's how I take it off on all of them.
Any other questions, folks?
Very good.
Well,
Nice.
thank you.
Nice job.
Simple
Very
little
nice.
project.
Good job, Dane.
Thank you, thank
Good demo, Dane.
Thank
Yes,
you.
that was good.
I like
A
it.
lot shorter than my pill. Heck of a lot shorter than the pill stopper I did several months ago.
Thanks, Dane. Great demo.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very nice. Hey, Dane.
Yeah.
You know, do you turn birdhouses?
No.
You
No,
know,
I don't. But I know a guy that does.
Who's that?
Bob Moffett.
Wow. You know what? Let's put him on a hook. I think Bob needs to do a demo for us.
Yeah, I think it's about time, right? What do
Yeah.
you say, Bob?
No.
Uh-oh.
That'd be a great demo, Bob.
I hear
Come
birds
on, Bob.
chirping.
I'll have to look me up some corny bird jokes.
That's funny. No, that's all right. We don't want to put you on the spot. You do it when you're comfortable. But folks,
I
it's
told
easy
Eddie
to
I'd
do
do
a
it June
demo.
9th. I'm gonna be gone till then.
Yeah, but folks, we're always looking for demos, and anybody can do a demo. All I got is my cell phone. That's what I just did this on.
How do you do it? How do you do it with your cell phone?
So I got a $20 tripod that I attached the phone to that Eddie sent me a link to back in 2019.
You think he would have sent it to everybody?
I don't have your email address, Bob.
You might want to email him and he'll probably do it for you. That's what I did.
You can actually use the club email address if you'd like to get it. I can't put the link on the chat while we're doing the program. Heck, I can hardly walk and chew gum.
You could probably find it at Walmart.
Yeah, one thing.
I got it on Amazon, and I want to say it was $20 shipped to the door.
And it comes in a little bracket that'll grab your your iPhone. Let me see.
There's clamp ones that'll clamp to your desk, and there's also little screw clamp ones that have a handheld screw that you can just screw them to anything, the table, the desk. I have one mounted to the ceiling, and it's on a 4x2, and it's just mounted to the ceiling, and it comes down here.
Yeah, right.
Bob, there's an even cheaper one than that. What I do, take one of your chucks that you're not using, open the jaws as wide as they possibly can go. The only time you should ever have your chuck jaws as wide as they can go, and your phone sits right in the middle of them chuck jaws. The chuck itself is heavy enough to hold the lot. Don't spend any money, just drop your phone in your chuck jaws. Let's see your birdhouse.
Seems like your picture get a little dizzy doing that.
And then you turn the lathe on, right?
No, definitely not.
Well, y'all got
just about any selfie stick. If you unscrew the part that holds the phone off the stick, it will screw onto a tripod and hold your phone. Just a tip that they're cheap.
That's true.
Yeah, because most selfie sticks, the control is Bluetooth, which guess what? You can still use the Bluetooth when you're doing that. You can put the selfie stuff there, put it on video, and you can use it for an on and off.
And so I saw a question that popped through asking what app is used. So for me, the only app I use is the Zoom app.
Yeah, and you log on with 2 accounts. So you log on with your phone, so that's the camera, and you log on with your account, or you just use the same.
No,
Yeah,
I
you
just
use the same one.
use the same, yeah. And then just switch the camera around, yeah.
Yeah, that's handy.
That's what I've done. 2 or 3 times that I've done things. I've just used my phone, just logged in through my phone.
Right.
That's all I used.
Yeah.
I do know that if you're logged into Zoom on a PC and you try to log in on another device like a phone or an iPad, it'll throw you off the first one unless you're on another ID.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I used that IV cam when I was doing my demo to show the shop, the shop tour with my phone, is so I could just route it into Zoom through my computer and not get tossed.
Okay.
So, yep, there's lots of ways to do it.
We're getting there. That's it. Who said? Arizona John says he can do a demo of almost cutting off his pinky finger 2 weeks ago. No. You can belong to the Band-Aid brigade, but I don't want to see the wound.
So I get, every time I cut myself, I come back into my house and I tell my wife to get the Band-Aids out. But I did this, I cut myself like in 3 places. I don't even know how it happened. At 2,500 RPM, anything can happen.
And fast.
Yeah, it's that blink and that click that you really hate.
I keep Band-Aids in a first aid kit in the shop, so I don't have to go in the house dripping blood in case something happens.
I keep duct tape and paper towels.
And super glue.
Yep, definitely the super glue. And I can tell you from experience that Parfex doesn't burn.
It doesn't
I
burn?
keep Band-Aids in my shop.
I'm a one-up everybody. I keep a combat tourniquet in here.
I wear a belt. I wear a belt, so I always got a tourniquet.
It's good to have a tourniquet because if you get cut really, really bad, you have a very short period of time to apply it, or you're going to pass out and die.
Yep.
Well, then you don't have to worry about it.
Save your life.
So 3 weeks ago, when I was working on that spiral for that wig case, as I was sitting right here on the bench, and all I was doing was taking my marking knife and scraping off the tape from it. So here's the marking knife. I made this, by the way, metal too. And I dropped it, and it went straight down into my leg. And it went just past the first pin. And of course, the knee-jerk reaction is to rip it out. Of course, that's what I did, was rip it out. So it made the cut even wider. but I didn't nick the artery, but I cut enough veins that that nice dark crimson stuff was just spewing out. And automatically Air Force training kicked in, ripped off my belt, applied my own tourniquet, and that was the only way to get the blood stopped. And then I drove myself to the ER, which is thankfully only 7 minutes away. And 4 staples later, all was good. But yeah, it can happen in the blink of an eye. Easy as pie.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Sounds like that runs right into safety, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Jeff. Talk to us.
Good call.
Yeah. Jeff came in a little late. Jeff didn't hear the little safety tip we got from Billy Bird earlier about catching his branding iron with one hand.
Yeah.
Where you at, Jeff?
But
We
you-
don't see you. I don't see you.
Right here.
There you are.
Test, 2, 3, 4.
Gotcha.
Test. There we go. Yep. Thank you, everybody. First things first, first aid kit. Make sure you got it. Make sure it's up to date. Make sure you know where it is. Fire extinguishers. Bob Elliott, we talked about that. Make sure you got fire extinguishers. Make sure they're big enough. Make sure you know how to use them. Make sure you got the proper ones. Changing bits, blades, etc. Unplug. Do it safely. Finishing, don't use large rags, only paper towels, unless the rags are small patches when the lathes are running. Still see some people using big rags out there. You know, you're just waiting for something to happen. You get sucked into something, you're not going to like it. Dispose of rags correctly. I burn mine. You know, bring it to the grill, light it on fire, get rid of them. Never wrap anything around your fingers, your hands, anything like that. You know, if you're doing like burning on the, burning the lines and stuff on stuff, don't ever wrap stuff around your hands. This is a good one. Ladders are ladders. Chairs are not ladders. Tables are not ladders. Remember that. Face shields. Oh man, it bugs me when I see these really cheap face shields out there. You know, they look like a piece of clear plastic. I mean, they may be better than nothing, but I wouldn't want to trust getting hit in the face with one of those things. Take a look at your face shields. You know, your eyes, your face, your face here is like an eggshell. You get hit here, it's gonna be bad. So maybe look about having a good face shield, safety glasses. And then I just saw somebody talk about backups. You know, it's not really about but safely backing up your files before you need them. Think about it. You had a catastrophe. Your phone got broken. Your computer got broken. Your hard drive got wiped out. You know, what do you got on there that you may not be able to recover? Lights, more lights, the better. It's going to be safe for you to work. You know, if you're working in the dark, it's going to be hard to see and be safe. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Jeff. All right. And folks, a little while ago when Dane was doing his demo, he picked up his shield and showed it to you. And I believe that's a UVEX.
Yes.
It is. They come with a couple of different grades of shields. The low cost is the lowest grade of plastic.
Right.
Step up, really step up. You won't have to replace it as often. And that's number one. Number two, blow it off before you clean it off, because everything that's on it isn't abrasive. And you can't see a darn thing if it's like this. So,
right.
All right.
Well, and UVEX.
The other thing on the face mask, while we're on the subject, is most of them have a shelf life. Those UVEX ones, it's 2 years. So, some are 3 years, some slightly more, but the most of them seem to be 2 to 3 years.
The lens or the shield itself?
On the UVEX, the lens is 2 years. The shell is 3 years.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's, if you read the little manufacturer's sort of information that comes with it, it is there in the small print somewhere. But
was that
most of them are that sort of order. But I did some research on this a while ago, and I spoke to one of the manufacturers, and they said I was trying to get them to give me a definitive answer on one particular sort of brand. And they were a bit evasive. And in the end, they said, if you leave it in the box on the shelf, it's good for 5 years. And I said, yeah, but who's going to use it that way?
Right.
So best case scenario with any of these is probably 5 years. It's if you're using it, then you're potentially exposing it to UV, which is going to degrade the plastic. And we all use chemical finishes, don't we? So it's a bit of an unknown just how they react with the plastics as well, and potentially degrade it over time. So it's worth bearing in mind that these things need changing from time to time.
Yeah, it's hard to see through the cardboard box.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then there's a question of how long was it on the shelf before you bought it?
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
Right.
All I know is that with regular use, mine get all scratched up, and you know, you just have to. They get hard to see out of. So
yeah,
you got to change them. So
yeah, my lens be lucky if it lasts me 12 months. In fact, I just put a new one on last week. So, but I always have a couple on hand, and I don't know if Amazon is still limiting the number you can purchase. I know last summer they were still limiting the amount that you could buy because of COVID.
So, well, I don't know, but I do not have a spare. If nothing else, have a spare. Because once it goes bad, how long do you have to wait? Wood turners don't wait. We'll keep going. So I mean,
I've got a face shield tip.
What's that, Tom?
I was just gonna say, does that UVEC shield have a film to put over it to keep the scratches down, so you just replace the film?
I don't know of one.
Yeah, it does, but you take it off.
That's a packing sheet, not a.
No, well, no, I'm saying after you use it for a while, it gets marked up from chips and stuff. You peel it off and put a new one on.
Sort of like a net.
I don't know about that one. The Trend does.
Yeah, motorcycle manufacturers, motocross riders have what they call tear-offs, which might be in this case.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Eddie,
yes, Billy.
I've got a face shield tip. I use STP son of a gun on the inside and outside of mine. It does two things. Number one, if it's cooler in your shop, it doesn't fog up on you. And number two, the son of a gun actually fills the minor scratches, and it makes it easier for you to see through. Oh, and number three, there's a third one. The dust blows off of it a lot quicker and easier.
It sure does, Billy. I've been harping on that son of a gun for probably a dozen years, and people say, "Are you kidding me?" I'm not kidding you.
I believe I got that from you.
I have a bottle of it in my shop, and that's the only thing you can choose for. And I'll clean it, wipe it off, and then hit it with one more coat of son of a gun. And like you said, it doesn't cling, it doesn't mist up, and it helps you save. We're looking at this. Helps you save the shield. It really does.
Is there no name for that?
So ask again, Brenda.
Is there an odor to it? I would think if you're putting it on the inside of your mask, it would smell.
No, I have never detected an odor, and I'm real sensitive.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
No.
Can't be any worse than some of the chemicals we use.
Yeah, or just plastic. What the heck? Hey, earlier, let's jump off the boat here for a second. Earlier, someone had a question about SWAT. And SWAT registration's open right now. Billy Burt bought tickets. And so there's a couple other folks. We're going to all see you at SWAT. But if we have a board member from SWAT on board right now, the question came about, are there still going to be, or will there be, wife or spouse projects in the symposium as they have in the past?
Eddie, I'm not a board member, but I went on the website and they do have the family program like they have in the past. They just have not announced it yet. I talked to Ron. I called Ron up, Ron McVoy, because he's on the board, and he did not know the details about it, but he said they were going to have some type of program. But the website lists the program and says they're going to have a program They have, but they don't have the scheduling to come out later.
Okay.
Okay, Eddie, on the program for the families, my wife is on that committee, and they have 8 presenters for the families activities.
There you go. That's what we were looking for.
Yep, and they will be in full swing.
Great.
that
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you, James. See,
Sure.
that's why we're here, folks. You asked. You got it right here. Somebody said, I'm looking at the Uline website and UVEX Shield. There's no upgrade lens listed. Maybe not on Uline, but I haven't bought mine from Uline. I'll buy other things from them folks. And they're pretty good, but they don't stock what they can't sell. Mine came from Amazon.
Yep.
But I've also seen them at a couple of other catalog services. If you see the UVEX Shield, and sometimes they're misnomered, but the UVEX is still there. Bob Moffett said, "Will any of the SWAT demos be online?" Is a question from Bob Moffett.
As far as I know, it's all going to be all in person, live and in person.
Okay.
Nothing online.
So Bob, buy a spare iPhone and send it on and get somebody. Hey, it's a way to get around it. I mean, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It's about.
Question about the raffle tickets.
What about?
Yeah, they'll still have a raffle.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how much the tickets go for, and I saw a thing that said, get them now. Where did you get them?
I'll have to find out. We have a meeting this Saturday, and we'll find out. I don't know if they've got prices set up for them yet. They were trying to work out some details on the vendor, the credit card people, to be able to pay for them online.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick up some more. I don't see anybody tapping their pockets looking for a few more bucks to get a few more tickets. I do. I do it every time. I sell tickets. I used to sell them every year. A couple of years ago, somebody said I don't qualify anymore. Hey, I'll keep harking them for you. I mean, it's a way to keep the operation going.
Yeah,
So,
they're still looking for volunteers to sell tickets.
there you go. All right. Thank you, James. Appreciate the update on that tonight. It's coming up on the top of the hour. We've got a couple of different co-hosts watching the gallery tonight. And I see we have a couple of folks plugged in right now. We're going to go to them for a minute. Let me check in here and see what we have. David Rose is our webmaster. He's not available this evening. But David, even though he's not here, I'm going to pat him on the back like you won't believe. The website is coming along so great. I mean, he edits the presentation videos. He'll be editing this program in the next day or so and putting the whole program plus excerpts of the demonstration like Dane just did on our website for you. So that's where you'll find it at. Dean, I think you're up on the mat right now, sir.
Good deal. Yeah, I made a scoop. So pretty easy little project, fun, simple to do. Did a video of that this week, put it up on YouTube.
I sort of liked it.
Is that based on Raffin's turning project stuff?
I've never seen his, so I guess not.
Okay.
Looks good, Dean.
Thank
Looks
you.
really nice.
Yeah,
What's the
yeah.
material?
This one's walnut.
Okay.
Yeah, he basically just turns a sort of a goblet with without the base, and then cuts it off with a bandsaw.
That's pretty much what this is. I turned what would, pretty much look like a goblet.
Yep.
And then you take it over to the bandsaw and make the cut, then go over to the belt sander and just, kind of rock it up, get your curve going.
Cool.
And then sand the end off of the handle. So
Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt. Do you know how to do that, Matt?
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh, because you know, there's some folks tuned in tonight that might not know how to do that.
I'd be happy to show everyone, Eddie.
Oh, I was hoping Hook and Dean. It just works even better.
I do a different version. I take my square stock, and then on the one end that I want to have my scoop at, I take a Forstner bit, drill out, you know, whatever size scoop hole I want to have there, and then mount it between centers and spin it to shape, and you're done. Later on in gallery, I'll show one off.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
All right. So up next for gallery, we have the great one, Kade Bolger.
It's a great one. I love this.
Mr. Bolger.
Wow.
Right,
Thanks.
Mr. Bolger.
Hi, everyone. Hope all is well. I have a few things to show. Here is a birdmouth hollow form. I guess I've been on a bit of a kick of these lately. This is out of honey locust. I love honey locust because with the sapwood is very white in color. And the heartwood is very pink in color. So turned out very nice with the grain sort of creating a smile effect.
That's
right.
Really
on
looks
both
good.
sides. Yeah.
That looks good.
You
And
normally
then
tell
I
us,
do-
wait, Kate, you normally tell us how thin it is. You fail to do that.
Oh, this is a 1/8 of an inch wall thickness.
It's the standard, right?
Standard, all the way to
I
the
couldn't-
base.
Yeah, I couldn't make the 1/8 of an inch club with my face.
And then this morning I did a couple footed boxes. Usually they'd be bigger, but I did a couple minis. I did one this morning before Martin's meeting and one quickly after, just before this meeting. So this one I did out of ash.
That's nice. I like the legs, the feet on it.
The feet are
That's really
solid.
nice.
They're also made out of ash. I painted them with mineral, what is it, chestnut spirit stains. And when I went to do the lid, I did the lid fairly thin. So as I was drilling for the finial, I was like, oh, I hope I don't go through. And then you feel that little bit of release. I'm like, oh, I went through. That's okay. Just keep going through. So I have a 1/4 inch hole on either side. So I decided to do a little teardrop finial on the inside to cover my mistake. And then a nicer, more elegant finial on the top. Again, they're both ash and they were dyed with the chestnut spirit stains. That's going to be my next demo next month. And I did one out of walnut just before the meeting here. Here's one out of walnut. Here, I'll take the lid off here. There's the feet.
Cool.
And there, that section is turned in with the piece, and then the legs are carved out of it.
Yes. Yeah. Turned in with the piece and then indexed and carved out. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Kade, can you show us that little mini finial again?
Yep. Yep.
Good grief. What kind of tool did you use to cut
That's
that with?
cool.
A skew.
Whoa.
And I did a skew for the finial as well.
Whoa.
It's the bottom
That's
finial and the
nice.
top finial attached, or were they independent?
They're both independent, but they marry up just union right together. And I have some, I put this one in first with the dab of CA glue so it would stay in while I glued the top one in. And then I used Type On 3. And I have a little undercut lip, so any squeeze out would be caught within there and then squeeze into one another to hold one another. Yeah.
That's not a mistake. It was a good design opportunity.
Thanks. Thanks.
That's an undocumented feature. That's all that is.
Looks
Yeah.
like it could be. Looks like it could be a top too.
I was thinking the same.
Oh, sorry.
I was thinking the same thing. I thought you were going to spin it on something, show it at the top.
I guess it could be. Now I can make it a spinning top box and say I meant to do that.
Right.
So yeah.
Hey,
At
so
first I was kind of annoyed, and I'm like, damn, really? Like I got to do a new lid already, and I'm like, no, I'll try that, and I guess it worked out for me. The walnut one, I did not go through. And all the outside profiles of the box and the finials and everything, even the profiles of the feet, are turned with the skew.
Whoa. That is nice. I love the feet detail.
Thanks.
Right.
One more thing, if I have time. I had a private message through the chat. Someone asked if I can advise them how to stop getting catches on their wig stand when they're doing the dome of their wig stand. So I asked, what tool are you using? Are you using a bull gouge or a carbide? They said they're using a bull gouge. So I said, okay, are you riding the bevel on the nose, cutting with the lower wing? Flute 45 facing in the direction you're cutting? Or are you riding the bevel, flute facing the direction you're cutting, and are you cutting with the top wing? Or are you cutting with the flute facing the wood, coming around and cutting with that lower wing? And they said they were doing this motion, coming across and scraping with that lower wing. And I said, that is exactly why that is happening. Because we have the flute facing the wood, we're coming around and we're exposing that bottom wing as we come around, and then wham, that wing hits the end grain. It's going to be a very violent catch. It'll wake you up quickly. What you want to do is you want to ride the bevel with the flute facing in the direction you're cutting, riding the bevel on the nose. The flute's at a 45, so that means that the flute is open enough and you're cutting with that bottom wing. So that
Essentially 9
bevel
o'clock.
riding cut is supporting the cut so you don't get a catch. Okay? So I just wanted to reiterate that in case anyone else in the membership had the same question. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Tool use is critical for us, and it makes for better art.
Okay, I would love to see a dedicated tool technique demo from you on the skew. Just the skew, and not making anything, but just rolling beads, planing cuts and all that kind of stuff, and just go through the series of cuts. I do okay, but then I also have some problems doing rolling beads with the skew because it sometimes it gets a little grabby on it. But I'd love to see just dedicated to tool technique only.
Okay, strictly skew, tool technique, presentation, and how to control the skew.
Yeah, that would be a great demo. I think it'd be applicable for. I know you've shown it several times and actually making things, but just dedicate it to just a block of wood. Don't make anything. Just show the techniques.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I can do something like that in the near future for you guys.
All right. Thank you. Oh, it's not
Kade, I
like
got a question real quick.
Sure.
Can we have the baby update? How's the baby done?
Oh, the baby is doing well. She had an appointment the other day. She was at 31 weeks, projecting at 32. The baby's heart rate was 130. So everything's healthy, everything's good to go, and it's due July 8th. So today was the 8-month point. So we got a month to go, and July 8th will be the day unless it comes early. But we got the nursery ready. We got it's all painted, crib built, mattress in, rocking chair ready. So we're good to go. We're packing our hospital bag this week just in case it comes early. So I'm not scrambling around trying to get stuff together to race there. But yeah, it's going along well. Thanks for asking.
Great.
Good.
Great.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Kade. Do we have anybody else up on gallery this evening?
No, not at the moment.
All right. Well, if you'd like to get in gallery, post it on our chat and our co-host will find it, introduce you, and we'll do the gallery for you. If you're not part of the team, we're still collecting Freedom Pens. And that's where you turn a pen and you give it to our working troops, thanking them for their service and protecting our freedom. We have an address on our website on how to send them directly to Doug Rowe, pardon me, and he will get those pens and put them in their hand. And I got a few in this week. I'm getting ready to box them up with a couple I got in last week, get management to mail them on out to them, because it's a project I never want to end. I'm not a warmonger. I think I'm just thanking them for what they do. So who else we got, Dane?
Let's see. Larry Carver just popped in, so let's go to him. Hey, Larry.
Hello. I don't know how well this is going to show up.
We'll pull it back towards your face, sir. There you go.
Segmented bowl, 24 segments per row, 10 rows, and well, hard to see. It's a 6-piece edge glued floating bottom, about 10 inches diameter, 8 inches tall, maple and walnut.
What's the finish? What do you have on it for a finish, Larry?
The finish is Minwax tongue oil, about 10, 12 coats. And I sand the last one to 1200 grit, and then a coat of Minwax paste wax.
Good. It's a really pretty piece. Very nice.
Nice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
It'll be a gift for my great niece. Today was her last day of high school.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
Oh, that's great. Very nicely done.
Job.
Thank you.
Larry, if she's going to college, fill it up with money before you give it to her.
The thing is, yes, she's going to college. I believe she already has a full ride scholarship.
All righty. Man, that's the way to plan it out.
Nice.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Billy, you're up.
Billy, that's you, Billy.
Which Billy? Oh, me.
Billy
Okay.
Dillard.
Hey, Billy.
I'm sorry. I saw Johnny Hughes ahead of me, but I have a ashtray. People have been asking me to make ashtrays, and the lady wanted a cypress ashtray, and the worst wood to turn. But I did make a couple of them, and this one is a piece of cypress, and I used a Parfex finish on it, and it turned out really good. It's a real hard finish, so I don't know if it's going to be anything that's going to be any kind of flame retardant, but I'm thinking that these pieces are going to be probably strictly more for decorative use than actual use. But I don't like cypress, but customer asked for cypress. And I have one more item. I took some sycamore that I had retrieved from the park, and I was going to toss it because it had some bad cracks in it, but it actually turned out to be a nice little goblet. It's got a couple of cracks, but it actually turned. And I thought I was going to lose it, but it actually stayed.
Hey, the press knot saw the character. I really like that.
Yeah, it's like I said, the things you think you're going to throw away and not use, don't do it, because that's what it's going to turn out like. But I'm trying to think what kind of oil it was. Walnut nut oil on it. But that's all I have.
Yeah, nice job, Billy.
Yeah,
Really nice, Billy.
Good job.
Love the grain patterning.
Very nice.
I like
sycamore is just beautiful. I mean, I never knew how pretty it was.
You can do so much with it too. You know, it takes a stain, it takes a dye really well.
It does. And
It carves and burns well too.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. All right, Glenn, you're up.
All right. Last couple of years, I've
I've turned some ornaments for my daughter.
Pull it back towards you, sir. There you go.
Some ornaments for my daughter, and then she this is a little gift, the stand I made for her out of walnut. She a little gift for her for this past Saturday. She graduated with her MBA, and so this is one little gift I had made. I've been wanting to make it for her, and it's just a walnut stand, and I turned the spindle, and then I left it square at the top and bottom, and then I turned the cap, and then the spindle that goes through, I used a little beading tool to for the little grooves, but I turned them, but I used the pin jaw chuck, and I moved the spindle in as close to the jaws as I could. Otherwise, it would just flex around too much. So it was just a little stand I made for her ornaments. And
That's nice.
that's all I have.
Yeah, very nice.
It can get double duty for her bangles, bracelets, and necklaces too.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, let me show off a couple items that I've been working on, and along with the scoop that I mentioned earlier. So here's how I do a scoop. So imagine, you got your square turning blank. Take your Forstner bit, drill your hole, mount it up between centers, hit it with the skew, get your profile done, lop it off on each end, and you're done. That's how I make scoops. So a week or so back, I posted a video of a nasty looking root ball between centers on the lathe. And so here is a weed plot. So this is a Chilean mesquite. And literally it was just one of the bulbs that were coming out of the root ball buried underground. Had a little bit of sapwood on it. I used some yellow mix-all dye to keep the yellow sapwood. Otherwise, it turns that amber color once you hit it with your tongue oil. But it's only got one coat of tongue oil on it at the moment. But yeah, so it's going to be a weed pot for the wife.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Really nice.
That's cool.
And then I made a 4-foot turning tool
4-footed turning tool.
with an adjustable handle. So I have a bad back. I don't like reaching over, bending over. I already slide the tailstock down when I do hollow forms anyhow. So never used a carbide scraper before. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Actually works okay on end grain for hollow forms. So 4-foot section of 1/2-inch rod, turn my handle, put some threaded inserts in it. So while I'm turning, depending upon where I want to be at for length and torque, I can move this handle so I can grip it with my right hand, still keep it underneath. Got it on the tool rest. And I don't have to worry about, oh, I got to make another rod because it's too short for the piece that I'm working. So yeah, 4 foot.
Nice. You could almost stand one county over to make cuts.
Yeah, darn near. Okay. And then, so another thing I did, so I scribed a line through the center here. And then while I was bending the metal and reheating it, before that, I layered it in with white chalk, and then so it burned and crystallized inside that little line. So even when I'm 3 feet away, I know exactly where my angle is at, what angle I'm at, because I can see my line. So it's a good little visual guide.
Folks sometimes don't understand that, and you need to know what position your cutter is when it's inside of a piece.
Right.
you don't want to plow and you don't want to go heavy scrape because you don't accomplish anything with one or the other. So
Yeah,
Say
real
that
handy.
again, say that again, how you scribe that on the, oh, bloody hell. on
Yeah,
the pipe?
so I just took my calipers
Yeah.
and just scribed a line down the top of it before I started working the metal.
Okay.
And I scribed it down, I don't know, 2 feet, which is probably about 1 foot longer than necessary. And then I took chalkboard chalk, filled in that line, and then when I heated it up, it like crystallized in there, and so it created a solid black line in there that doesn't disappear, from when you clean up the metal from the massive heat that it got while I was bending it.
Thank you.
Yep.
good move. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the input tonight. I'll pull the spotlight off. A couple of years ago, I saw a demonstration at a wood turning club, and a really good turner, and he was talented with his tools. He had a vessel that he turned. He had pre-turned when he got to the club, and it was maybe 10, 12 inches deep and maybe 6 or 8 inches round. And it began to hollow it out. But then he went over to his bandsaw and he took a big long cut off one side. So you looked inside. I mean, you could watch TV in there if it was in there, just like that. Then he chucked it back up on his chuck. And as he was working his cutting tool, his hollowing tool, the light generated by his work lights, and the way he was doing it, he could say, I added plus, I went negative, I went neutral. This is what's happening when I'm doing this. And not only did you know what it was cutting, you could see what it was cutting. And you could tell how he was doing it going down sidewall and then going into end grain and how he was twisting, what elevation he was working with. I'd love to redo that again, because that would teach all you folks that are trying to do hollowing and are getting catches and jams and burns and everything else. How to get around it is all that tool and what you do with it. So let's go back to, I gotta get over here on I lost the whole program there for a second. I'm back with you. Gary asked, do I still use the son of a gun to clean face mask? Yes. Billy Burton on the same team. It is that sometimes you got a little problem finding it. So I go to that unique place called Amazon.com, and that's where I get mine from.
Thank you.
Anybody else up for gallery tonight?
No, not at the moment.
All righty.
Eddie, this is Gary again. I did put the Amazon link to the spray can for Son of a Gun.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw that. Thank you.
Okay, but I didn't put the description in there saying what that was for. And I hit the enter key and boom, it was already gone.
Yeah, thank you.
But that's one of them, and there's several other options there on Amazon.
You see, I thought that was a deal with the mask. And the insert, because I'm the same thing. I was reading it thinking, what, we get a lot of help around here, folks. We really do. Our organization, worldwidewoodturners.org, we produce a monthly newsletter. At least it's supposed to be monthly. A while back, we ran 4 or 5 weeks long, 6 weeks long. I put out a new edition this past week, and it was rather long because of the input you folks give us. The photographs, the articles, the suggestions, the questions, the ideas, get you up to date on what we're doing, what you're doing, what you turn. And that newsletter will go to our website. That's where David Rose puts it up at. But we also put it out, I put it out on Facebook, on my personal channel, and on Worldwide Woodturners on Facebook. So it's there, and it's there for whatever. Take a look at it, and I very much like to have your input, your response, your yes, no's, maybes, or whatever. It's important that we get that. I think Martin's back with us again. I thought I saw him a second ago.
Hi, Eddie.
Hey, go ahead, sir.
I've actually turned something. I was just saying to Dane. I knew I'd get a smile from you, Dane. I was just saying, I've actually turned something this week. And I normally get a laugh because I always say, I will show you my nuts. What I've turned is something for myself. I wanted 2 gate post finials to go on the top of the gate post, you know, to stop the rain getting into the end grain. They're like a post topper, but because the gate posts are so big, they're 6 inches square. I needed something to go on the top of the 6-inch square gate posts at each side of the gate. So I've made these this week. So they are probably, well, they're about 1 foot, 12 inches high, come out of a block of 6 by 6, and then they've been mounted onto a 7 by 7 square of oak, and then fired, so that by firing it, you protect the end grain to stop the water going in. The problem is when you want them on your gate post, you want them at each side, so you've obviously got to create another one that looks very similar. So I do have 2 nuts.
You know, I'm going to leave this
pair.
alone.
You got
You
a
do
pair
know
of
that.
nuts.
All right.
The difference with this one, and the reason I was going to show you, the difference with the one on this one on my right, is what I've done is I have done this with a concealed center, so that it's hollow, and it'll allow me to put the gate key in, so that nobody will know the gate key's there.
Nobody except everybody watching this. So
Oh, that's
Well, you've got a long way to come to find my gate key.
Yeah, right.
So there you are. That's what I've been turning this week.
I'm just going to say nice nuts, Martin.
I had to laugh about the one comment online where a guy was saying, what kind of eggs you put in there?
Yeah.
Some really big ones.
Really big eggs.
Don't look,
Emu
Ethel.
or ostrich.
we're going to lose our family rating here with this. We keep up this.
All good, clean humor.
Yes. Yes.
So far.
So far, listen to that. Earlier, I said something about wood turning with resin, and somebody put it on the chat as to who produced it, whatever. And if you look them up on Facebook, you'll probably find a link to it. I have not gotten a response to how I can buy one from them, but I did ask, because there's a lot of us like that want to play with the resin. We just want, have a little more detail before we jump into it. And Kim is working on renovating her house, and is probably tired than an old dog and won't be with us this evening. But we got a pretty good crowd tonight. We hit 100 and something members, which means we had 200 plus opinions out there. And if you'd like to join in, you can do so. It's just a matter of saying, I'm going to be part of the team, and you're in there. Terry's in us tonight. Hey, Terry, what's up, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to let Kade know that we were watching and how much I appreciate everybody showing me things. And I've been learning, and I tried one of these. Well, actually, I tried 3 from watching what Kade was doing, and it didn't come out too bad. But this one's about 3 mil to 5 mil. It's not consistent. It was real green. It's fogwood. So I'm not really sure what it is. I just found it on the ground. But it's pretty nice. It makes a happy face.
Wow,
And
that's very nice.
I wanted to keep up with Kade. The other 2 that I made are actually thinner than the ones that Kade made. I actually got the inside bigger than the outside.
Wow.
So, so that wasn't good. But anyway, this is my 3rd attempt. And this was almost lost. The bark ring came completely off. And after I had put some glue on it, but it came off in one piece and it fit back on perfect. And I sanded it back down.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Nice
So,
job.
Very nice,
It was
Terry.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
I got away for the wig stands for a while, so that was more fun.
It looks like Norway maple. depending where you are in the States. It might be Norway,
No,
maybe very
I'm in
white.
South Texas and it's some kind of decorative tree. We had that big freeze and everybody lost everything that wasn't native to here. And a
Oh,
lot of things
Could it
that
be
were.
Bradford pear?
yeah.
It could be, because when I found this one, there's also one I know is a lemon tree. Just because I know the tree that I got another piece and tried to turn that one yet. It could be Bradford pear. I'm not really sure. There's not a lot of them down here. I doubt that. I know the homeowner, but I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Maybe I'll find out what it is next week. But that's pretty
Either way, it
much
turned
all
out
I have
nice.
for working on wig stands.
Great.
I finished my run of a dozen wig stands.
All right.
Awesome.
I
Terry,
sent a picture in to Eddie last week on it. There's one of them, but
Uh-oh.
they got them all done.
all right, hold on. Wait, Terry, wait a minute,
Hold on,
Terry.
we lost you, Terry. Let me put you back
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Now we
This
got
is one
you.
of them.
Oh, nice.
This is one of them. I finished
Very
the
nice.
12 of them. It's cottonwood top and finial and a piece of mesquite for the base. They're all different and they're all done, and I'm on to other things.
Terry, I got a question for you.
Terry, Brenda's
Yes.
got one for you.
Yes, brother.
How did you go about finding a source to give those out to?
Oh, I haven't. The club is doing something, and we have 2 or 3 doctors in our club, and several of the members are very well involved with all the different hospitals in town. And they've come up with something. I don't know what their plan is, but they've got it all arranged. I'm just going to take them and give them to the club, and the guys at the meeting at the club will take them back. Glenn might know about it. He's on there. He might know where they're going. I'm not sure.
Yes, this is Glenn Dornack, and we're in the same club. And I had talked to a lady at one of the cancer centers, and we're good. That's where we're going to donate all our wig stands to.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, good move.
Mm-hmm.
And remember,
I have actually got 24 cut out of pine out of 2x4s that I haven't turned. I've got just the rough cut pieces in a box over there. I think I'll take that on to another step. One more thing I would like to add, trying not to hurt nobody's feelings, but when I was showing her piece, she was saying that she got the lumber left over from a deck project. And down where I live, all the decks are made out of pressure treated lumber. And if that's the case, I strongly advise not using pressure treated lumber. I don't even bring it in my shop. It's treated with poison and I don't want to breathe it. And I saw something on AAW, somebody that is a lot smarter than me talking about it with all the medical problems and different things. So just something to keep in mind.
Yep, same thing with railroad tracks and telephone poles. Stuff is treated with creosote. That's bad news for the respiratory.
Even if it doesn't get in your respiratory system, that stuff will spray and splash on your skin, and it's absorbed instantly into your bloodstream. So
it's
bad
news.
yeah, a long time ago when I got married first time, the day before I had to use a chainsaw down a manhole to slice off the bottom of a telephone pole. And you can imagine what my face looked like the next day. It looked like I'd been in a dog fight and I wasn't a winner. And it took quite a while for it to clear up. All right, let's be safe. That's it. Let's be safe.
For sure.
I understand.
I forgot to show.
All right, before we go to you, hold on, it's right there. You're on. But Troy Netherway is president of Susquehanna Woodturners, and he's joined us tonight. Want to say welcome to him and his club. And remember, folks, everybody in your club is welcome to join us. What's up?
Just an idea for doing wig stands. You can always think out of the box and decorate them however you see fit. So the wig stand I did in my demonstration, a family member of my wife's family has started chemo. So we decided to decorate this with something meaningful to help support her through her journey. So my wife painted a lotus flower here on the top of the wig stand.
That's nice.
And then we
It's real
framed
nice.
framed it in with the cancer pink.
Yeah.
And we, yeah. So
That's beautiful,
Nice.
Kade. That's
That's really
beautiful.
pretty.
That's really nice.
Very
next-
nice.
Tell Linda, very good job.
What kind
That's-
of finish did you put on over top of that? Because I was thinking about doing that myself, but when I did that on my coffee cup, it smeared.
yeah, this is acrylic based paint. So once it's dry, it doesn't really react and run with different finishes. This was starting to dry out and I had to sand off some of the paint that's speckled on it. So I just put a new coat, a fresh coat of 50/50 mineral spirits with tung oil on it. And it didn't smear at all. So you don't want oil-based paints because they'll dissolve within the solvent that is mixed within your lacquer or your oil, or if you thin your oils or your lacquers, that solvent will make that run. But these are just cured acrylic paints, and some of them are from Walmart, some of them are from Michael's. So they're not your expensive acrylic paints. Well, I mean, the ones from Michael's are, but you can get similar brands the exact same at Walmart. And I've used them on these as well. And I put oil finishes over top. I've even done spray finishes with spray lacquers and car lacquers, and they all work fine. I've never had the acrylic paints run. But if I use like a chestnut spirit stain or a spirit dye or a alcohol-based paint or oil-based paints, they will run when they hit the oil and the solvents of the finishes.
Yeah, I've had a lot of success on both spirit stain and acrylic paints with both lacquer and with light coats of poly. Like I use the Minwax products, and they, you know, if you get light coats and let them cure good before you put the next coat on, get 4 or 5 coats on, and you're good.
Yep. You just got to make sure that that solvent dye has dried. Otherwise, it will run if it isn't fully dry yet.
Yep. So give it a week and then start finishing.
Yeah, building up those coats, and it won't run.
Yep. And
Thank you.
Is it okay to use like rattle can spray paint for the wig
Yeah.
stand? Would you have to
I
put
don't
any
see
finish?
why not.
You have to put a finish over it or something over it, or that just the rattle can paint that should be waterproof?
If it has a finish mixed in with it, it should be waterproof and dry, like an enamel style paint. Yeah, they would work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't like the standard spray can, isn't that like latex, or is it acrylic paints?
Well, you can get different ones. You can get enamel based, you can get acrylics, you could get oils, you could get latex. Yeah.
Yeah, the enamel works. The stuff you use on models and stuff, that works really well, and weathers really well. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And remember, hey, folks, this wig stand challenge will continue on. It will. It really will. But we want to know, we'd like to know how many you turn, where they go, and just if you can show us a picture of them, a photograph. Some guy sent me a photograph the other day of 24 that he did, and he did them between meetings. He saw a demo one week and turned 24 before the next week. It's amazing work. And some of us can turn them out like that. I really appreciate it. We're doing good for the world. We are, folks. See what else we had here. SWAT.org or SWATturners.org is open for registration. You can register now, get your hotel rooms and everything else set up. The list of demonstrators is available. And the beauty about this place is you can get international, national, regional, and local turners all in the same building at the same time, all sharing information. It is, I got to give this, my humble opinion, is the finest organization, finest symposium I've ever seen. And I've been to many of them. It's just well worth the trip. Hope to see you at SWAT this summer. I'm looking for a ride to get up there. And I'm offering, get this, I'm not real rich. I'll put up 6 2x4s to get that truck. I'm talking new lumber now, you know, still the little yellow tags on it and everything.
That's pretty pricey.
Yeah, mine still has the little yellow tags on the ends of it. They're dyed blue because I got them at Lowe's, but hey, you work around that.
How long are they?
8
You sure
foot.
they're not gold?
No, they're 8 foot. I mean, hey, how much money do you think I have? But we're getting together for that. And I had a guy ask me today, when are we going to get together for a group photograph?
Yeah. You're muted, Eddie.
All right. Martin has been holding that whole process up. I mean, Martin and Paul and Donald, I mean, they just, you know, we can't get them into the group. That's all. They're our furthest out. Martin, it's dog 30 in the morning, and for Donald, it's just after lunch. So we are worldwide and we are doing good. And if we can help you out, we're here for that. Any more gallery this evening? Because I'd like to pull the plug at 9 o'clock. We're kind of pointing towards that way. And the reason is, if we drag it on, there's some folks that think it's not worth the drag on. Or maybe I'll stay tuned, but I can't stay tuned for the whole thing. You don't have to. You can spend 5 minutes with us, 5 seconds with us. Tonight at 5:45 Central Daylight Time, or Central Standard Time. I don't know, it's 5:45. We already had 20-something people in the crowd. And we talk and chat, share ideas, talk problems, finishes, how to turn something. Tonight, you heard that you can actually do your demo from your shop with your iPhone. That's right here. That can do your demo. So if you choose to do a demo, you can do it live for us. You can record it, email it to us, and send us by Dropbox, and we'll use it that way. But doing a demo just takes you. All right. Anybody up right now, Dane?
No, there's nobody else at the moment.
All
But I
right.
can show off a couple bird's mouth boxes.
A couple of what?
Oh, bird mouth vessel.
Birdwoods? You got birdwood stuff?
I
Birdwoods.
need some suggestions.
So I think I showed this when it was on the lathe. So this one's finished now. It's got the finish on it. Got a little pedestal base on it. And then, so the other side of the log is here. And I'm not totally complete with this one yet. I'm going to do some piercing on it. I want to pierce a wolf's head, or a wolf sitting in a crescent moon on each side of where the pith is at. And then it's going to be a RV gift, some dash art for my wife's cousin, whose name is, imagine this, Wolf, which is short for Wolfgang, him being German and all. So, but yeah, green wood, less than 1/8 of an inch thick. Hey, look at her birdwood bowl. How about that?
You made it in the pack here, bud.
That's good. So needless to say, my cousin, he's excited to get it.
That's great. Yeah,
Those
that
are
turned out
nice.
great.
Yeah, that's that one I showed you, Kade, where I had the light in it. You could see through the light.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'd be perfect for piercing.
When it's thin enough to read the paper through, it's thin.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've seen some of Cade's work about that thin. So thank you, Bud. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Got a few folks bailing out on this evening. We're down to about 65 members in participation tonight. We have room for you if you'd like to be there. If you'd like to show something, go ahead. You have a question. Been beautiful tonight with some of the questions and answers. And as I said earlier, you get 100 wood turners in a room, ask a question, you'll get 200 different answers. And we talked about finishes this evening, and Ronnie has had a problem with the finishes on that water spot bowl that Doug showed us a couple of weeks ago. Ronnie's working on one, and he's got some difficulties with grains, etc. We probably threw 10 ideas to Ronnie in just 5 minutes time. And if you ask, we all had them right. All right. Anybody else up this evening, folks?
I could use a suggestion.
Who's that?
Jason?
All right, go ahead, Jason. Start talking. I'll bring you up.
Yeah, I'm here. So I have a piece of wood that I found the other day. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes, pull it back towards you. We see it better. There we
It's
go.
not huge, but trying to figure out what to do with it.
I'd make a weed pot out of it.
Yeah,
I
weed
know
pot or a hollow form.
It feels really dense. So, and there's some little holes, and I don't know, the grain looks like it kind of twists around. So,
Yeah, you see it in the weed pot, the holes would be carrying.
I
Yeah,
think a
weed
weed
pot,
pot
hollow
might be
form,
the
chalice, vase,
box,
couple boxes.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even tell you what kind of wood it is, or
Fogwood. We saw some fogwood earlier tonight.
Yep.
It
All
looks
right,
like,
well, I think I'll try a weed pot out of it.
yeah, it looks like a something from a root.
Yeah.
Kind of like fat
Yeah.
pine.
Looks like a small piece of wood waiting to become an artistic creation.
There you go, Bob. There you go.
I knew
Sounds
there was a
about right.
reason why we allowed you in here, Bob.
I appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, wandering around the woods of East Texas as a kid, you'd see a lot of stuff that looked like that, and it would be what we'd call a pine knot, where a limb came out of a pine tree, and you got that solid core that just it will last forever.
I know it's heavy, and I know we have a lot of pine around here. So
It very well could be a pine knot.
Yeah, we call it spider here.
That'll be nicely figured.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
start
it'll
cutting
have
it,
some nice figure in it.
when you
If
start
turn it
cutting,
upside down, it looks like an ice cream cone.
Send it to me, I'll turn it.
Petrified ice cream.
oh boy.
well, I think I might try a weed pot out of it. Maybe I'll be able to get it done before next week, depending on the honeydew list.
That'd be cool.
When you start cutting it, if you smell turpentine, you know it's pine.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to
Thanks.
A horizontal weed pot out of it. Turn it on its side. Turn some little vessels on the side. Then it could sit. That would look cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. So
You do one of those little banana bowls.
Yeah, you could do one of those big wing
Yeah.
banana bowls. I showed
Ooh,
you
I don't know
Angel
if I'm ready
wings.
for that yet.
a few weeks ago. That's an adrenaline rush.
Give it to Bob Moffett, he'll make a birdhouse out of it.
There you go.
Oh, there's Ronnie. All right, wait. Let's go. Terry's got something else he wants to show.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, somebody had showed a piece that I can't remember who it was. I think it was Jason showed a piece that I kind of referred to as a gull wing bowl. And I had made a comment of using a waste block on it. And I had somebody tell me that they didn't understand what I was saying and how I approached it. And I thought I'd show you this piece that I did a while ago. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. This is a walnut bowl that I called a gull wing bowl. It's freestanding on the table. The bowl doesn't touch the table. And it's made out of a 2x6 piece of walnut board. And it's about 23 inches long. And I took a 2x10 and glued on to both sides of the 2x6 and then turned it as a complete circle. And then took it back to the bandsaw and cut the walnut piece back out of it. And then after showing it on the side, I saw the waste blocks sitting on the table over there. So I decided I would try to make something out of them. So I made like a little boat out of it. And I turned it around on the other side to give it some design. And I cut it out. We had some flowers or something stuck in there. It was kind of a neat little piece. I took a piece of the walnut 2x6 and made a stand for it.
That's nice.
So that's made out of the scrap block that I used to cut the big bowl with.
That would be nice with a flower arrangement in it.
Yeah, I had some plastic flowers or something in it. It looked pretty neat. So just thought you might like to see that. It works pretty good on a smaller piece too. If you make it it makes it so easy to turn the gull wing shape. If you've got something, you know, you're cutting a full circle, you just lay it on a bevel and cut it out and you're done.
Yep.
Instead of cutting your hair for a mile.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that.
And I'd like to appreciate everybody that does so much for this club. I really appreciate it. I've talked to several people and I've got new friends and we've got some great people in the club. I advise everybody to get to know them better. It's really, really fun.
Yeah,
I agree, Terry.
I'm pleasantly surprised at how much our members are actively communicating besides being on this program. They call each other about sharpening, finishes, pieces, artwork, wood, and all this. And again, folks, that is exactly why this organization was founded. And that's what's going to keep us succeeding because we're sharing ideas. I got one in here from one of our turners who's going to do a demonstration for us next month. And it was Bob Moffett. Bob, I think you're still out there, aren't you?
I am.
All right, Bob, you asked us, you put in, I'm interested in advice on getting a laser engraver for signing and texturing platters.
That's what I asked.
All right. Is Johnny, are you still with us, Johnny?
Still here. Yep.
All right. Give me a little input, Johnny, because I got the same gizmo you got, and I don't want to be accused of harking one or the other. So I love what I have. Tell them about what you've worked into.
All righty. I talked with a couple of club members here that primarily do pins and to find out what they use, and they both recommended that the Niji that I bought that's the Niji Mini, I think they call it. But the one I bought is the Niji Master 2, and I bought the 20 watt, but you really don't need 20 watts. The 3500 is probably the best for engraving in wood. And they're reasonably priced. There's several places to get them on the internet. There's a lady out in California sells them. Amazon has them. And I bought it because it was the simplest and easiest to use. I don't know anything about G codes or vectors or this type of thing. I need
simple.
Yeah,
I need simple.
Me too. So that's why I got it. I wrote my signature on a piece of paper, took a picture of my iPhone, forwarded it over to my laptop, and burned it right into a bowl. And it's that simple. You don't have to. You really don't have to know how to do much on there. That's why I like it. It's simple to use.
What wattage is? How does the 3500 compare with the 20 watt? Is it?
Well, they
What's
say
the difference in them?
3.5 watts. It's 3.5 watts, and which is fine because on my 20 watt, I usually run it between 15 and 18% of power because you just don't need that much. You will burn through something if you're running 20 watts there. So it's more than I ever needed, but it's ideal for any kind of wood you want to burn. And the 3500 or the 3.5 is great because it makes a very fine line. If you want to engrave something like a pen or something very small, it's very good for that. And I can adjust mine down. It makes a pretty fine line on mine, but it's not as fine as the 3500.
When I got started on mine, it came with the 20, and Nancy McIntyre is the lady that really promotes that product and knows all about it. And she said, I'm going to send you a 3500. And it was night and day. But I'm same way. I wasn't on a DOS-based computer. I'm on a Mac. And to generate the images, I had to generate them in PowerPoint and then move the PowerPoint over to their program. And I had a little fuzz. I just saw one, well, Johnny's work doesn't have any fuzz, but he's doing his with a Mac. I'm sorry, the Windows unit. And it's not a lot, not complex at all. And he's right. You don't have to learn any code. You don't have to learn any code or anything, you know, to make it work. Billy Dillard, what about the one you have? Billy, are you still in?
I had muted. I'm sorry.
All right. What unit do you have?
I have the Niji Master 2. They're pretty much the same one Johnny's got there. I've got a couple of them. I upgraded to the newest one because it had the Bluetooth capabilities to hook to my phone, which was an improvement. But I think altogether I have 3 laser engravers, one of them being a real cheap entry-level unit, and the latest Niji Master 2. It'll do about 7-inch engraving. It's a little bit bigger than the one I had before. It's not real big.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Well, what is that one then? What did
I actually have, I think I have 4 different modules for mine. I have the 3, the 7.5, and the 20. There's 3. But those are actually input power ratings. That's how they rate these diode lasers, are rated by input power required to operate. So it says 20 watts. That's not the actual burning power. That would be the input power that the power supply needs to be able to supply.
Right.
I know I've got 2. I've got a 7-watt, 20-watt, and a 3-watt. Yes, I have 3. That's what the modules look like. This is the 3500, and this is the 7-watt. So yeah, so I have a 3500 and a 7-watt and a 20-watt. And the real difference that you see on wood is actually, the way you're looking at it is the 35 or the 3500 will be like using a smaller skew chisel as opposed to using a bigger skew chisel. The focus point is smaller, so you can get more detailed work. The 20-watt would be really close to the same size, but it's a little bit wider. So when it's actually burning, it's burning a wider path. So you can't get quite as much detail. I don't do a lot of detail work. I do mostly engraving like Johnny does on wood. So the neat thing about the 20-watt module is it has a 100% duty cycle time. So I could burn at 100% power and complete 100% duty cycle. I do not have to worry about it overheating. I never burn it 100%, but in theory I could. Some of the smaller ones, there is a duty cycle. Nobody really knows. I guess if you overshot the duty cycle, you might shorten the life of the module. My 3500 watt module there is about 4 years old. So I have not even come close to seeing the power drop off on it.
Billy, thank you so much. Appreciate the input. We're going to pop over our last visit tonight. We're going to go to Australia and talk to Donald.
Who
Aren't
is
we?
this Nancy McIntyre?
There's a website, YouTube, Facebook website. Nancy is I don't know if there's a position going with it, but she's got a group or a club of all kinds of folks that have got these Nijis, or Nij, however you say it, and they input problems, solutions, ideas, tips, hints, artwork, et cetera, et cetera. It's a whole nother, it's a little club. And apparently once you get one, if you get involved in them, everything you do will be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, she also sells them with all the accessories too. Anything you want.
Nancy's the guru of Niji. She just reading there's 4 or 5 Niji groups that she runs. Just reading there is such an eye opener. I've got the 7-watt one, which is good for as finer details as the 3.5. I run it at about 11 or 12%. I do a lot of photos on MDF. Well ventilated, of course, because MDF's not real good.
okay. Thank you, Donald. Appreciate the input tonight. With that, folks, as I said earlier, we're going to wrap it up at 9 o'clock. This is the end of the program. And in order to do that, I want y'all all to say good night and thank you. You don't have to say thank you, but I'd like to say good night. And
Good night and thank you.
and this is what we're going to show you. You can talk all you want because I'm going to pull my plug.
Hey, Jack.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Night,
Good
everybody.
night, y'all.
John
Thanks for
Boyd,
being here, everybody.
Jason.
Thanks for the advice.
Hey, thank you guys for the info.
Don't forget to save the chat.
Night, everyone. Save the chat.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed up bite.
Sweet dreams, everyone.
Hey, I just put a Facebook link to that Niji group. that
Night,
Nancy
everyone.
runs. I just put it in chat.
Talk to you in a bit, Kade.
Yep. Talk to you in a bit. Take it easy, y'all.
Have a good week.
Good night, everyone. Where is it? Where's that link?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had it on. Let me change it to everyone. I had it on a personal message.
Oh man.
Sorry,
There we go. I'm
there
gonna
it
check
is.
that out. I've been interested in getting one. I just don't know that much about them.
Yeah, I am too. I joined that group about 2 weeks ago, and there's a ton of information in there. And Nancy is real active in that group, and she just kind of casually reading stuff, she is real knowledgeable, just like everybody said.
Anyone has any
Okay.
questions about it? Yeah. I've been using it for quite a while. I've done quite a few things. I've tried some of the aftermarket software, and I haven't had much luck with it. I'm pretty much sticking with the software that came with it.
Okay, yeah, that was one of the questions I was going to ask, when he was talking about it earlier about the software, because I see different people trying different softwares, and it's kind of hit or miss with some of them. I didn't know which. So you're using the stock one that comes with it.
Yeah, I mean, it does anything you want to do, but you don't have a lot of control over. You can bring any kind of formatted document into it, JPEG. I think it's a list of about 7 different formats.
So do those just run off like an iPhone or an iPad? Or
And it can Bluetooth that way. That was the main reason I upgraded mine. I wanted to be able to Bluetooth. At craft shows, I sell a lot of items that I custom engrave them at the show. So by having the format where I could work off my phone
if someone had a photo and they wanted something engraved, they could just send me the photo on my phone and I could engrave.
And you could just do it right there.
Very big improvement from being wired up to a computer and having to transfer documents and formats and, you know.
Wow.
Well, my problem is my computer is probably about 10 years old, so it's like a dinosaur, and all I have is either my phone or my iPad.
The age of your computer doesn't matter. I'm using about a 15-year-old laptop that's running Windows 7.
Right. That's all it needs.
Yeah, I haven't even opened mine in probably 2 years, so I don't even know if it works anymore. It's been under the bed collecting dust.
I know that Apple products aren't fully supported by the latest versions.
That's correct.
Now, one other question I got on that, Billy, does that one also, does it cut circles like cut makers coins too?
I don't have one to show you. When I first got it, the reason I got the 20-watt module, I wanted to be able to cut some ply, and it will cut 3 mil ply, which is, I guess, 1/8 of an inch.
Okay.
Got a piece of it here. I don't see it handy.
Yeah, I think that's the one Eddie was using. Eddie's got the same one. He was using it on his front porch a couple months ago, and I believe he cut some circles out.
You'll find that if you put some kind of air assist on it, it will blow the dust away and it will actually cut deeper. What limits the cut ability is the soot that gets in it. You know, what I've got is I've got a little cheap fan that I just run on top of it. It blows the soot away. It keeps the lens clean also.
Oh.
And what the bigger laser engravers do, they actually put a little air assist jet right down by the head to blow compressed air, just to blow the dust away.
I've got a fish tank pump, a rather large fish tank pump, and then that's just got a tube coming up, and I've got a bit of wire taped to the tube so it points at the right spot. Nothing fancy, but it for doing grayscale pictures, it's improved the pictures 200%.
Yeah, I've got the little lift legs on mine, and the reason I've got it that way is because I can do tumblers, I can do wine bottle stoppers. As you can see here, this is I can't hardly figure out which way to point to it, but this would be for your pin manual to go in. Okay, so once you get that pin manual, then what you want to hook to it is unlimited after that, because you can make any size wheel, anything that you need, get the diameter right for the tumbler. You want to do the tumbler, you would need the diameter to be right to make sure that your engrave is going to stay linear.
Yeah.
So you want to keep your laser hitting at a 90-degree angle then to the surface.
Mine sits 12 inches in the air, and I've got a laboratory lift, so I can put anything under it.
This is a homemade one that I had made when I had the other one. That one's actually got a real nice 1/4-inch threaded rod, which allows you to pretty much put anything you want on it. Let's see if I can.
And the machine will rotate it as it needs to be rotated, right?
Yes. This one, I bought the jig for the actual tumblers. So it came with the wheels for specific tumblers. But I mean, once you got the piece that comes with it, you can put anything you want on it. I forgot this was something I engraved the other day. Oh, a baseball bat mug. I actually took this piece of wood and actually just turned it down to the same diameter as the mug. And then I ran the spring, but they use a string with a spring. And that wraps around the pulley and holds tension on the pulley. And that just sets the correct speed for it to rotate on the jig.
Wow.
very simple. The one that I had made about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I actually used a vacuum cleaner belt. And I was actually letting that run on top of the pen blank itself. I was using the, what do you call the piece of, metal pieces that hold pens when you turn the blanks down. I can't think
bushings?
Yeah, I was using the bushing itself to set the diameter because you turn the pin to the exact size of the bushing. So I was kind of doing it the hard way. The string and the spring is really nice because they have a couple of little pieces here that they actually, the string and the spring hook to. So it works really well compared. But the only issues I was been fighting with, and I'm one of these people, I can't give something up until I extinguish all options, is you notice I've got a grid that I actually engraved with the engraver, and that allows you to know where the center of the laser is. And that's one thing about the factory software is old version of the software, when you did the artwork, it would electronically center the artwork. And then before you started engraving, it would go to the center point and stop. So you could center your artwork. If your artwork is not circular or square, you don't know where the center of that artwork is. I mean, it's going to frame it and show you where it's going to engrave it. But if you're engraving something like this that's round, then you can easily find the center of this by measuring with a string. But to be able to put that laser in the middle and know where that center mark is and get this perfectly centered, because if it's off by a fraction, your eye's going to catch that. So what I did was I made the grid so I know where the center is, so I can actually take a round object and set it inside the circles that I have here on the grid.
Perfect.
Get so close to your eye.
Like a big center finder.
Right, that's exactly what. That was my way around it. And you said the lady's name earlier. I can't think of her name right now.
Nancy McIntyre.
Because I had asked her a couple of times, that question is, why can't I electronically center it? I don't think that she had really understood the question, but they kept telling me, just measure what you're doing. And I said, no, I need the laser to go back to center. Well, the newest software has a manually centering option. So when I can click anywhere on that graphic and I can make that the electronic center, but I can't physically look at an object that's a graphic that's not round or square, and I can't find the center of that without printing it out on a piece of paper and measuring it. So it's very hard to do. It was like they thought it was an improvement by having the manual way of setting an electronic center, but what they did, they took away the automatic centering of the laser frame. Because the old version would frame it, and then when you hit stop, it would go to center. Then if you had a dot in the middle of your work, then you would just line up that dot. Okay, that was the old way. And she undoubtedly, maybe she wasn't involved with the product back then, so maybe she never saw it. But so far, that's the only workaround that I've found, is to make a grid and actually just center it that way. And I found out an easy way to do the center of the object is that when you still have it on the lathe and you still have your mortise, run that tailstock up on that lathe. Don't touch the wood, but run it up so close that you can put a little pencil dot off the lathe, and you don't have to measure it anymore. In fact,
All right.
I have to come up with a way to put a pencil in that tailstock so I can put a dot on there and not make an indentation. But
We'll come up with a way. Don't worry about it. We'll come up
Well,
with
the
a way.
ones with the removable point, if you can figure out a way to put a piece in instead of the little removable point that's in the tailstock.
Yeah, immediately
Maybe,
I went to thinking of
get
golf.
you a big fat pencil and turn it down so it fits in there perfect.
Put it in a Jacobs chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, golf pencil and a Jacob's chuck. All right. Hey, I said we'd shut it down at 9 o'clock, and really we got to go,
Yep.
folks. Y'all take
No
care.
problem.
I'll see you next week. Be good. And above all else, be safe. Good night.
Take care, Cap.
Good night. Good night, Eddie.
Good night.
Not Cap.